Hello and welcome to Boxing Social. It's Glenn McCrory, and with me today I've got the two-weight world champion, a superstar in British boxing. It's the one and only Ricky Hatton.
Ricky, good to see you, man, mate.
Lovely to see you, my pal. And just want to say, how's everything going now in the retirement?
Loving it. I think it's been well documented that I struggled when I come to retirement, but bit by bit, you know, I crawled myself off the bottom step, as they say, got to the top, made me come back. Wasn't a successful comeback, but I got rid of all my demons, got it off my chest. Like all fighters, we always think we've got one more. I found out that I haven't got it, and it was the comeback turned out to be the best fight in my career. You know, I ended up moving on, going into my next job, which is as a trainer now. And I was a trainer at the time, but I wasn't really doing, you know, I was half-hearted because I wanted to fight. So my fighters at the time wasn't getting the best out of me. But then when I made me come back, found that I hadn't got it, I knuckled down to my training now and successful. I've trained my first world champion a few months back, Zakianov, won the WBA bantamweight super title, you know, and I've got a load of unbeaten prospects in my gym now, and in the gym every day, keeping healthy, and I've never looked back.
I mean, you had massive success in the boxing ring, but you're also having pretty fantastic success out of it now, as you say, promoter, manager, got your own TV, Hatton TV, and you've got a world champion. I think that might be a first for somebody.
I've been trying to think of British champions or even former world champions around the world that have actually trained a world champion. I can't think. I'm sure they might be, but I can't think of one off the top of my head. So it's you know, it's great. You know, I've just two new super middleweight prospects. You know, Darryl Williams, who's the English super middleweight champion, just joined me and wanted me to train him. Mark Heffron, who's 15 unbeaten, 13 knockouts, he's just joined me. And I have 4 unbeaten prospects. Nathan Gorman, who won the Central Air Heavyweight title, he's 9 unbeaten. And a host of young talent all coming through. And it's, you know, I think I'd probably say, and you probably agree with me, so, you know, when you retire, you know, one thing that you miss is that gym banter, going to work every day, going in the gym with the same lads. You're like a team, aren't you? You're like a little family, and that's why it's in the gym now. I can't wait to get to the gym and pass on my knowledge, and hopefully, you know, when I see some of my fighters like Xander, who won the world title, I said, "Oh, thank you, Ricky. I can pay my house off now. My kids can go to school." It makes me feel 10 feet tall, you know, and that's why I'm still in the game.
It's quite rare for somebody that's had the success that you've had to then want to go in the gym every day and work with the kids on that sort of level, because, you know, normally, you know, if you want to retire, so you still very much got the hunger for the game. Yeah,
you know, but I think like most fighters would like to go on forever. I don't think people out there will appreciate, because boxing is a very it's like a selfish sport. I mean, I think, you know, whether you're a footballer, a cricketer, a golfer, or whatever, I mean, nobody likes to retire, but I mean, I think it's harder for boxers, because when you win a title or something, you get the glory on your own. That sounds selfish, but I mean, it's, you know, to get in that ring, you know, you just win against one other person and you win it and your hand get raised, it's all like you get the glory, and 20,000 or 60,000 or whatever, 40,000 fans cheering there's only one Ricky Hatton. When that's gone, you're never ever going to replace that. But you've got to find the next closest thing to do. The next closest thing is to try and give somebody the same happiness I got from boxing. It's given me and my family a life that we could have never ever dreamed of, and if I can give that to someone else, that's why I'm in it. And even though you want to fight forever, I couldn't be without boxing. It's in my blood. It's all I've ever done since I left school. It's the only thing I know, I guess. So no, I'm enjoying it, and you know, it's lovely when you speak to kids and you give them advice and they look at you and they know, because you've been there and done it, you know, that they, you know, when they look in your eyes, they're so passionate. It reminds me of me when I was their age. It's very warming. Yeah.
You just had your anniversary, which was actually a day after my anniversary of my biggest night was the 3rd of June. Your biggest night was the 4th of June.
5th of June, actually.
It was the 5th
it was
of
2
June.
in the morning, wasn't it? So,
that's right, yeah.
So,
Kostya, an absolute terrific high and a terrific way to really come of age in a career, beating the world's best. What did that feel like?
Yeah, because I had me knockers. I had people that loved me, but I did have a lot of knockers because I used to get hit too easy and I used to cut, and a lot of people
That's
say...
called exciting.
Yeah, they say, well, it's exciting, and he sells a few tickets. excuse me, but ultimately he's not going to get to the levels. You know, he's got the ambition, he's got the heart, and we'd like him to do it. But I still think people didn't think I had it in me. But that became my fuel through the years when people were saying he won't get there and he won't get there. I used it when I was matched against Kostya and nobody gave me a chance. You know what I mean? It was the best thing they could have done for me, because Kostya, he could have got the rest of all of his team could have had baseball bats. They wouldn't have beat me that night. And at the time, you know, my chin was like iron. I was young, I was fresh. There was no miles on the clock. You know, and I wish when I look back at the Pacquiao fights and the Mayweather fights, I wish the Ricky Hatton then would have fought him. Then you never know.
But I always feel that you have one night where you hit Everest, and then it's never quite the same. Even though you were in with massive names like Pacquiao and Mayweather. That was your Everest, wasn't it? Yeah, well, you know, that was the stage where, you know, I won my world title. Not only won my world title, I become the best in my weight. And, you know, then I unified the belts, which was wonderful. Ring Magazine belt. I won a 2-weight world title. I became a welterweight world champion. And I think from that point on, I thought, well, I've done it in 2 weights. You know, I think I got my MBE. I got me... you know, my 2 world titles in the best in the weight division. My family are going to be okay now financially. And even though your fights come along and you train hard and you work hard and everything like that, you lose that little, you become comfortable, if that makes any sort of sense. You sort of like, you just take your foot off that. You still train hard, you still want to win, but you just lose that absolute snarl, you know, that when you get your first chance and your Everest, so to speak. You just lose that little bit of, you know, killer instinct, zip, you know, mojo type thing with you. And I always trained hard, but when I look back, I don't think anyone could have beat me that night. You know, I believe that. I honestly, yeah. Well, of course, Tszyu couldn't. I don't think anybody could. But that was your night. Big nights followed with Mayweather, and you know when you ever go to Las Vegas, the taxi drivers still say, "When's Ricky Hatton coming back?" Because that was the biggest night in Las Vegas ever. What was the feelings after that? The personal disappointments that it didn't quite go your way. No, I thought it was stitched up. You know, I don't think the referee gave me a chance. I think a lot of people, 40,000 Brits went over, and it's very rewarding when you hear so many Brits turn around and say, "Oh, Ricky, that was the best trip ever." I mean, I don't think there's a Brit that didn't go. You know, everyone you speak to seemed to have gone. But I think the Brits enjoyed it. I don't think the American public or the American fight fans enjoyed us Brits going over, taking over their town. You know, and I can't help but think that he had a little bit of protection from one of his own that night. You know, Joe Cortez was from Vegas, Floyd was from Vegas, and I refuse to believe that even American fight fans or even the most die-hard of Mayweather fans won't watch that fight and go, "You know what, Rick, you have got a good point there." And I'm not, you know... You weren't allowed to fight your fight. No, I wasn't. And I'm not saying I'd have won the fight anyway, because he's Floyd Mayweather. When I look what he's done from that fight, what he's done since, you know, he'll go down as arguably the greatest of all time. But all we ever ask as fighters is, you know, to referees, to judges, whatever, just give me a fair crack of the whip. Yeah. And I don't think I got it that night. And I think anyone who turns around and says, "Ricky, you're talking rubbish," need to watch the video again and maybe look at watching a different sport, because I don't think you know what you're on about. I mean, even HBO was saying it, you know. So it was disappointing from that point of view. And you know, I'm a very proud person. I beat people that had more talent than me because of my heart, you know. So when I did get beat, it affected me. And everyone, no, don't matter how everyone says, "Well, it's only Floyd Mayweather and you got your biggest payday. What are you moaning about?" But I went over there to beat him. When I didn't, it was hard for me, and it was well documented how I suffered. Yeah. Talking about the suffering, it was obviously a fallout from Pacquiao, because you know, in your day, you know, that would have been a total different fight, I believe. And then you come back, you know, you still did very well for having that time out. I should have picked an easier lad, actually, to be fair, but I think you should have. That's not me. You know, I think you should have. I think, you know, the advice there should have been slightly different. But any regrets? No regrets whatsoever. You know, as a trainer now, you know, I don't want my lads doing what I did, you know, ballooning up in weight, you know, and not looking after themselves well, you know, looking after the body a little bit more, you know what I mean? That's
I have my boxers in the gym. They weigh every day. You know, I give them targets. You know, in 3 weeks' time I want you that, in 2 weeks' time I want you that. You know, and you know, just to look after themselves. You know, they'll give them a bit of time off, and then they're right back in working on stuff. And I think if I'd have done that, I might have got a few more years out of me, and I might have been a little bit fresher when the fights with Mayweather and Pacquiao come across. But you can't balloon up in weight, up and down, up and down, up and down in weight. You know, you can get away with it when you're young, but then one day, your body just says to you, no, you can't do no more. And I think if I'd have looked after myself, but having said that, I don't think anyone will have the fan base I ever had, because that's why they followed me. I was a little scallywag, I was a little Jack the Lad. I'd have a pint, play darts, go watch the football, nowhere's Gracies, you know, and everyone would say, yeah, let's go and watch Ricky, he's one of us.
You're one of the people.
Yeah, so I wouldn't, so when I'm saying that, you know, if these things had changed, I could have looked after myself a bit more. Maybe I'm contradicting myself. Maybe I wouldn't. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been me, and the fans wouldn't have loved me. So it's one of them.
Yeah. Finally, Ricky, you conquered all your dreams. You did everything that you had to do as a boxer, and did in great fashion. What's your dream now?
My dream now is to try and be the best person I can be, the best father I can be, to my kids. Try and give them, you know, the best that life can obviously give them. Be there for my boxers, give them the best, help them fulfil their dreams, and just live a happy and healthy life. Because for so long I didn't think I'd be sat here, but now I am. You know, no sulking goes on now in Ricky Hatton's life. It's all positive, and just trying to help others, whether it be my kids, whether it be my boxers, whether it be the charity work I do. Just getting on, keeping myself busy, and if I keep myself busy, keep myself happy, then I'm going to have a good few years left in me.
Well, I'm looking forward to the night, and thanks for helping me,
My
mate.
pleasure, mate.
God bless
Good
you.
to see you, Glenn.
Cheers, pal.